The sharp buzz of the intercom cut through the sterile silence of the boardroom. Without looking up, Claire Sterling pressed the button. How many times have I said no interruptions during the executive meeting? Ms. Sterling, your DoorDash is here. Amy Peters, her secretary, sounded like she was whispering from a bunker. I didn't order anything. Claire frowned, her manicured nails tapping a sharp rhythm on the polished mahogany. The circle of executives around the table held their breath. But the driver insists it's for you. A taro milk tea with boba, light ice, half sugar. A few stifled chuckles rippled through the room before being instantly silenced by Claire's glacial stare. Everyone knew the Ice Queen of Sterling Corporation ran on black coffee and unfiltered ambition. She wouldn't be caught dead with a drink that sounded like a teenager's Instagram post. Get rid of him, Claire said, her red lips barely moving. 5 minutes later, the boardroom door flew open. Delivery for you. A young man in a bright yellow DoorDash uniform strode in, holding up the offending purple drink. His smile was so brilliant, it seemed to have its own built-in photo filter. The executives collectively gasped. Did this guy have a death wish? Claire slowly raised her head, her eyes like chips of ice. She was about to have security drag him out when a clear, masculine voice echoed in her mind. Man, this woman gives off more cold air than my freezer. And that's saying something. Claire's pupils contracted. She shot a sharp look at the driver. What did you say? The young man looked utterly baffled. I didn't say anything. Here's your milk tea. Just need you to confirm. Claire was certain she'd heard the voice, but his lips hadn't moved. Weirder still, the sound hadn't come through her ears. It had bloomed directly inside her skull. Put on the table. And get out, she said, her voice dangerously low. As the driver set down the drink and turned to leave, the voice returned. This boardroom looks like a funeral home. No wonder everyone looks like they're waiting for the firing squad. Claire shot to her feet. Stop. The driver turned, a picture of innocence. Is there a problem, ma'am? Claire narrowed her eyes, walking slowly toward him. As the distance between them shrank, the voice in her head grew louder, clearer. Whoa, she's even prettier up close. Still looks like she wants to murder me, though. Are those eyelashes real? They're defying physics. She stopped about 6 feet away from him, and his thoughts flooded her mind like a tidal wave. If my paycheck doesn't hit soon, I'm screwed for next month's rent. This delivery should cover a rack of ribs. Hey, why is she staring at me like that? Do I have something on my face? An absurd reality hit Claire with the force of a physical blow. She could hear this man's thoughts, and it only worked within a 10-foot radius. What's your name? She asked. Leo Rivera, he said, scratching his head. Ma'am, if that's all. Leo Rivera, Claire interrupted, a dangerous smile playing on her lips. While delivering my drink, you spilled it on my Armani suit. Leo's eyes widened. No way. I'm always super careful. It's worth $8,000, Claire said conversationally. You can pay for the damages, or... She let the word hang in the air. You can work it off. The room was dead silent. The executives exchanged bewildered looks. Ms. Sterling's suit was pristine. Leo's mind exploded. This is a shakedown. A total scam. $8 grand. They could sell my organs and not get that much. Wait. Is she hitting on me? I mean, I know I'm ridiculously handsome, but... Claire nearly choked. Work? What kind of work? Leo asked cautiously. Personal assistant, Claire said, not missing a beat. $10,000 a month, room and board included. The damages will be deducted from your salary. The mental channel erupted again. $10,000. That's way better than DoorDash. Wait, room and board? Is she going to pull a casting couch thing on me? I mean, she's a goddess, but... A vein pulsed in Claire's temple. It's a literal offer. The company has corporate housing. Leo jumped. I didn't say that out loud. Your face did, Claire lied smoothly. Sign the contract. Now. Half an hour later, Leo Rivera stood in front of the Sterling Corporation Tower, clutching a freshly signed employment contract, feeling like he was in a bizarre dream. The terms were draconian. On call 24/7. Unconditional obedience. A $1 million penalty for breach of contract. Did I just sell my soul? He muttered. Up on the 28th floor, in the CEO's office, Claire was re-watching the security footage. The video clearly showed that Leo Rivera had not, at any point, spoken the words she had heard. Interesting, she murmured, taking a sip of the forgotten taro milk tea. It was surprisingly good. The next morning at 7 sharp, Leo, dressed in an ill-fitting, cheap suit, rang the doorbell of Claire's penthouse for the 10th time. Finally, he heard footsteps. The door opened to reveal Claire in a silk robe, her dark hair slightly messy, a world away from her usual polished corporate image. Leo's inner monologue instantly went into overdrive. Holy, is this something I'm allowed to see for free? That collarbone. Those legs. Is that? Wait, what is she holding? Claire raised the cast iron skillet in her hand. If you dare to objectify me in your head one more time, I will use this to introduce your brain to the outside world. Leo's face went white. How? How did you know? A lucky guess, Claire said, turning back inside. Follow me, new assistant. We have a packed schedule. Leo followed, heart pounding, his mind frantically trying to self-censor. She definitely has mind-reading powers. No, that's impossible. She must be a micro-expressions expert. I have to control my thoughts. Think about math. Pi is 3. 141 5926. A small smile touched Claire's lips. This new test subject was going to be more entertaining than she'd thought. In the days that followed, the employees of Sterling Corp were shocked to find a sunny, handsome young assistant trailing their Ice Queen CEO. But what was more shocking was that Ms. Sterling seemed to be smiling more often. Ms. Sterling, here are today's reports, the CFO said, handing her a folder and accidentally brushing her fingers. Leo's inner voice immediately flared. That old sleaze, is he getting handsy? I swear, I'll spike his coffee with laxatives. Claire cleared her throat to hide a smile. Thank you. Just leave it here. During lunch, Leo was mobbed by a group of female colleagues in the cafeteria, all asking for his number. From a distance, Claire heard his thoughts clearly. TSK, I know I'm a hot commodity, but my heart already belongs to Ms. Sterling. Wait, what am I thinking? She deliberately walked over. Mr. Rivera, a word in my office. Once the door was closed, Leo's thoughts became a jumbled mess. A private meeting? What does she want? Is this really it? The casting couch moment? Should I give in or fight it? I mean, giving in wouldn't be the worst thing. Claire slapped a stack of files against his chest. Organize this data and give me a full analysis by end of day. Leo's mental voice deflated instantly. Oh, it's just work. Seeing his crestfallen expression, Claire suddenly asked, what do you think of me? Huh? Leo snapped to attention. Ms. Sterling, you're a paragon of beauty and wisdom, an inspiration to us all. His inner voice told a very different story. Beautiful and brilliant, but a total hard ass. Abrasive, workaholic, slave driver. But why do I still find her so damn captivating? Is this what Stockholm Syndrome feels like? Claire's eyes narrowed. You're working late tonight. What? Why? Leo wailed. Because the look on your face is incredibly punchable, Claire said, turning away, unable to stop the smile that finally broke free. This feeling, hearing his real thoughts. It was surprisingly addictive. Claire discovered that Leo's inner monologue was an unexpected asset in business negotiations. Ms. Sterling, this is the best offer Goldwyn Enterprises can make, Chairman Goldwyn said, pushing his gold-rimmed glasses up his nose, his smile all teeth. If you push the price any lower, there's no profit left for us. Claire tapped her finger on the table, glancing at Leo standing behind her. As expected, his mental theater began immediately. Bullshit. I heard this old fox on the phone with his mistress last week, bragging that he could still drop the price by 30% and make a killing. Wait, how do I know that? Claire's eyebrow twitched. Her personal thought detector apparently came with bonus features. Mr. Goldwyn, she began, her voice smooth as silk. I hear you recently purchased an estate in the Hamptons. Is the renovation going well? The chairman's hand jerked, spilling tea on his tie. Ms. Sterling, how did you know about that? Leo's thoughts exploded. Holy crap, how'd she know that too? Does she actually have mind-reading powers? No, trust in science. Claire fought back a laugh. A lucky guess. Since you can afford a place in the Hamptons, I imagine the price on this contract. She pushed the document back across the table. Could come down another 30%. That's impossible. Goldwyn slammed his hand on the table. Leo's mind provided a running commentary. The old fox is about to call his accountant to cook the books. Wait, why do I know the exact steps for creative accounting? Ultimately, the negotiation ended in a landslide victory for Claire. In the car on the way back, she enjoyed watching the conflicted expression on Leo's face. Ms. Sterling, Leo finally broke the silence. Do you have special powers or something? Claire's heart skipped a beat. Oh, like reading people's minds. Leo's gaze darted away. Just a wild guess. His thoughts, however, were crystal clear. If she can really read minds, then what I was thinking in the shower yesterday. Oh God, just kill me now. Claire's ears grew warm. She feigned composure. Mr. Rivera, you've been watching too many sci-fi movies. She changed the subject. Tomorrow, we have a negotiation with Starlight Industries. You'll be taking the minutes. The next morning, in the lobby of Sterling Tower. Hurry up, the elevator's closing, Claire said, holding the door, frowning at a slow-moving Leo. He jogged in, his mind buzzing happily. Ms. Sterling is wearing a pencil skirt today. Those legs could. Stop it. Leo, you are a professional assistant. Claire's mouth twitched. She was about to reprimand him when the elevator jolted violently and stopped. What's going on? She instinctively grabbed the handrail. Probably a malfunction. Leo hit the emergency button, then pulled out his phone. No signal. In a confined space, they were less than 2 feet apart. Claire could clearly hear Leo's accelerating heartbeat. And she smells amazing. What perfume is that? From this angle, I can see her eyelashes. What am I thinking? But she's so close. Her lips look so soft. Claire's cheeks flushed. Leo, she snapped. Here, he yelped. You. She was about to lay into him when the elevator lurched again. Leo instinctively reached out, shielding her and trapping her in the corner. Their eyes met, their breath mingling. Leo's thoughts were deafening. I'm gonna die. This is way too intimate. But she's so light. Her waist is so small. What is wrong with me? But I really want to kiss her. Claire's heart hammered against her ribs. For a moment, she forgot to push him away. A mess. Sterling, Leo stammered. Don't be scared. I've had self-defense training. You're safe. Who's scared? Claire forced a calm she didn't feel. You've had self-defense training? It's a hobby. Leo's eyes flickered, but his thoughts betrayed him. 3 years of Krav Maga wasn't for nothing. Wait, why did I just think that? Claire was about to press him when the elevator suddenly resumed normal operation, the lights flickering back on. They sprang apart, hastily adjusting their clothes. About what just happened, Claire said, walking out of the elevator without looking back. You're docked half a month's bonus. What? Why? Leo cried out in despair. Because. Claire turned, saw his puppy dog expression, and changed her mind. Forget it. Go buy 2 milk teas. Taro boba, light ice, half sugar. Leo's eyes widened. But I thought you only drink black coffee. I like milk tea now. Is that a problem? She shot back with a raised eyebrow. No problem at all. Leo practically skipped away, his thoughts soaring. She likes the milk tea I bought. Does that mean? Claire watched his cheerful retreat, unconsciously touching her own warm ear. The company's entire logistics system suddenly crashed. Executives were in a panic. The Black Friday promotion is about to launch. If our logistics are down, we're finished, the COO yelled, clutching his few remaining hairs. Claire called an emergency meeting. In the corner, she saw Leo playing a game on his phone. Mr. Rivera, she said coldly, do you have any brilliant insights to offer? All eyes turned to the pretty boy assistant. Leo looked up, bewildered. Me? His thoughts, however, were racing. Isn't this just like the algorithm for DoorDash? You cluster orders by region, dynamically assign drivers. Wait, how do I know this? Claire's eyes narrowed. Let's hear it. To everyone's astonishment, Leo haltingly laid out a logistics plan based on the principles of gig economy delivery services. So basically, you batch the orders by zip code, then use real-time traffic data to dynamically adjust delivery routes. He finished, looking as surprised as everyone else. I was just spitballing. No, the CTO stood up, his face alight with excitement. This framework is brilliant. It's far more flexible than our current system. Claire looked at Leo's baffled expression, a thoughtful look on her face. Implement Mr. Rivera's plan. After the meeting, Leo caught up to her. Ms. Sterling, I don't know where that came from. I know, Claire said, her tone full of meaning. You were spitballing. She walked away, hearing his confused thoughts trailing behind her. Who am I? Why'd I know these things? Did I have amnesia? Working late into the night, Claire found Leo still in the office. Why haven't you left? She asked. Waiting for you, he said, as if it were the most obvious thing in the world. It's late. Not safe. His thoughts told the real story. They still haven't caught that stalker from last week. I can't let Ms. Sterling walk to her car alone. A warmth spread through Claire's chest, but her voice was still sharp. Meddling. As they walked through the underground parking garage, they noticed a dark figure shadowing them. Ms. Sterling, get in the car, Leo yelled, pulling open the door to her Rolls-Royce. The figure suddenly lunged, a glint of metal in his hand. Look out! Leo shoved Claire behind him and executed a flawless spinning kick that sent the attacker sprawling. Claire was stunned. This was no hobby. This was professional-grade combat skill. Security guards rushed over and subdued the assailant. Still shaken, Claire grabbed Leo's arm. Who are you? Before she could finish, she heard a strange, unfamiliar thought that wasn't his usual inner monologue. Shit, I blew my cover. Have to come up with a plausible excuse. Wait, why can't she hear my thoughts all of a sudden? Claire froze. It was true. At that moment, she couldn't hear Leo's thoughts at all, only that bizarre, third-person-like narration. Ms. Sterling, Leo asked, his face etched with concern. Are you okay? She snapped back to the present. You. She paused. Starting tomorrow, your salary is raised to 20,000. Leo's eyes bulged. What? You don't want it? No, I want it. I want it. Leo nodded so fast his head bobbed. His usual mental broadcast suddenly crackled back to life. I'm rich. I could get that new PlayStation. Wait, why is she being so nice to me? Is it possible she's actually falling for me? Claire rolled her eyes. Don't overthink it. It's a reward for saving. My Armani suit. She got into the car, watching Leo's goofy grin in the rearview mirror, and couldn't help but smile. This mysterious assistant of hers was turning out to be far more interesting than she could have ever imagined. Ms. Sterling. Amy Peters burst in. It's terrible. The logistics system is down again. All the Black Friday orders are stuck in the warehouse. The fulfillment center was chaos. Hundreds of employees were running around like headless chickens. The system is completely paralyzed, the CTO cried, looking like he was about to tear out what little hair he had left. It'll take at least 12 hours to restore. Claire frowned. The promotion starts in 12 hours. Do you have any idea how much Sterling will lose in penalties if we can't ship? The room fell silent. Leo timidly raised his hand. I might have an idea. All eyes swiveled to the pretty boy assistant. Speak, Claire commanded. Leo swallowed. Well, sometimes the driver app crashes, and when that happens, his inner voice was 10 times clearer than his spoken words. We use a group chat. Just set up a dedicated Slack channel for each delivery zone, make the warehouse manager the admin, and have the drivers claim jobs in the channel. Wait, why did I say we? I'm not really a delivery driver. Except I was. But why do I know so much? Claire's eyes narrowed. Do as Mr. Rivera says. 3 hours later, the makeshift Slack-based logistics network was up and running, and it was somehow even more efficient than the original system. It's a miracle, the COO exclaimed, clapping Leo on the back. Kid, how does your brain work? Leo laughed nervously. You pick things up driving for DoorDash. His mind, however, was wailing. Crap, I blew my cover again. Ms. Sterling is definitely going to be suspicious. But why does she keep staring at me today? Could she really be into me? No way. She's the ice queen, and I'm just a delivery guy. Claire coughed lightly. Mr. Rivera, you're working late tonight. What? Why? Leo cried. For slandering your superior in your head. Claire said, her face a perfect mask of indifference. Everyone else. Leo, the pipes burst in the corporate apartments. Claire looked up from a report, one perfectly sculpted eyebrow raised. And all junior level and above employees need temporary housing? Amy Peters nodded. Yes, Ms. Sterling. Repairs will take at least a week. The company has arranged for hotel accommodations for all the managers. What about Leo? Claire asked quietly. Mr. Rivera is also on the list for a hotel. That won't be necessary, Claire interrupted. Have Mr. Rivera stay at my place. What? Leo, who had just walked in, dropped a stack of files all over the floor. Claire sipped her coffee elegantly. I have a spare guest room. And she gave him a meaningful look. It's more convenient for working late. Leo forced a smile, but his mind was a Category 5 hurricane. Moving in with Ms. Sterling. Will I survive the night? But her place must be huge. I wonder if she has a PS5. Wait, what am I thinking? My life is at stake. That evening, a terrified Leo dragged his suitcase to the door of Claire's penthouse. The guest room is on the first floor, Claire said without turning around. You are not to go to the second floor. You are not to enter my study. You are not to, thud. Leo tripped over the doorstep, sprawling onto the floor as his suitcase flew open, scattering its contents. Several pairs of SpongeBob-themed boxer shorts landed squarely on Claire's priceless Persian rug. The air froze. Leo's inner voice went dead silent. Just let me die. Right now. Claire fought back a smile. Clean that up. And then she pointed to the kitchen. Make dinner. Dinner? Leo looked up. Your resume said you have excellent culinary skills, Claire said with a pointed look. Or was that a lie too? Leo's mind sputtered back to life. Oh crap, I just put random stuff on that resume. The only thing I can make is ramen. Wait, I think I actually do know how to cook. Where's this muscle memory coming from? Half an hour later, a perfectly simple, elegant bowl of Casio e pepe sat in front of Claire. She took a bite, and her eyes lit up. Not bad. Leo scratched his head, smiling sheepishly. I guess it just came back to me. His thoughts were a tangled mess of confusion. What the hell? When did I learn to cook? And my knife skills were totally professional. Was I a chef before I lost my memory? Claire watched him thoughtfully. For breakfast tomorrow, I want a perfectly made breakfast burrito. Huh. I don't know how to, Leo started, but his hands were already moving on their own, grabbing ingredients. Okay, I guess I know how to do that too. The next morning, Claire was awakened by the sound of running water. She frowned at the clock, 6:30 a.m. Who would be showering in her house? That hit her. Leo. And she could hear his thoughts, loud and clear. This jacuzzi tub is insane. Rich people really know how to live. Whoa, this bottle of body wash costs over $200. That's half my weekly pay. So many bubbles. Wow, this smells amazing. Claire's face darkened. The bastard was in her private bathroom. She stormed to the second-floor bathroom and threw open the door. Their eyes met. Through the steam, Leo stood frozen in the tub, still holding her obscenely expensive body wash. Ah, they both screamed. Leo fumbled for a towel, slipped on the wet porcelain, and pitched forward. Claire instinctively reached out to catch him, and they both went down in a heap, with Leo landing directly on top of her. Time stopped. Leo's thoughts were deafening. I'm so dead. I'm definitely getting fired for this. But she's so soft, and she smells so good. What is wrong with me? But we're so close. She has water droplets on her eyelashes. Claire, who should have been furious, found herself inexplicably wrapping her arms around him. Huh. Leo was bewildered. I said, Claire, shove him off with all her might. Get out. 10 minutes later, a fully dressed and deeply embarrassed pair met in the dining room. Leo served a flawless breakfast burrito. Ms. Sterling, your breakfast. Claire took it with a stony expression, but she could hear his mind playing a continuous loop. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. Shut up, she snapped, biting into the burrito. It was infuriatingly delicious. I didn't say anything, Leo said, looking wounded. Returning home late from work, Claire found Leo lurking suspiciously by her front door. What are you doing out here? She frowned. Leo jumped. Ms. Sterling, you came from that way. I was just taking out the trash. His thoughts, however, were a frantic buzz of anxiety. That stalker is back. I have to find a way to stop her from coming home alone. Should I tell her? No, she'll just think I'm being nosy. A warmth spread through Claire's chest, but she deliberately kept her voice cold. Move. I'm going in. Just then, a dark figure darted out from the shadows. Look out. Leo yanked Claire out of the way, and in the same motion, delivered a beautiful spinning kick that sent the knife in the attacker's hand flying. Claire was stunned. This was no delivery driver. This was more like a special agent. The attacker scrambled up and lunged again. Leo shielded Claire while fending him off. His inner monologue, a bizarre mix of professional assessment and utter panic. This bastard is making me late for my pizza delivery. Wait, I don't deliver pizza anymore. Is Ms. Sterling okay? That left hook has no power. Wait, how do I know so much about fighting? Just how to take this guy down. In a few swift moves, Leo had the attacker subdued, tied up securely with his own belt. After the police had taken the man away, Claire stood with her arms crossed. Explain. Leo scratched his head. You run into a lot of stray dogs on delivery routes. Claire turned and went inside. Tonight, you're permitted to sleep in the guest room on the second floor. Why? Leo was dumbfounded. To protect me, obviously, Claire said without looking back, a secret smile playing on her lips. Leo's thoughts exploded with joy. The second floor, closer to Ms. Sterling's bedroom. What am I thinking? Ms. Sterling trusts me. Did she just smile? No, must have been a trick of the light. Listening to his chaotic thoughts, Claire suddenly felt that having this living, breathing enigma around wasn't so bad after all. At 3 a.m, Claire was startled awake. Leo's voice was echoing in her head, as clear as day. Ms. Sterling, don't take my milk tea. She shot up in bed, grabbing the alarm clock. 3:17 a.m. Leo should be fast asleep in the guest room on the first floor, but his thoughts were blasting into her brain like they were on a loudspeaker. That Taro Bobo is mine. Whoa, Ms. Sterling looks so cute in a maid outfit. Claire's face burned. She snatched a pillow and threw it against the wall. Leo Rivera, wake up. From downstairs came a loud thump, followed by the sound of frantic footsteps and a panicked cry. What's wrong? What's happening? The mental channel instantly switched to terror mode. Earthquake? Fire? Or has Ms. Sterling finally decided to murder me in my sleep? Claire, wrapping her robe tightly around herself, ran downstairs and collided with a shirtless, sleep-rumpled Leo bursting out of his room. Their eyes met. Leo's mind went in a meltdown. Holy crap, why is Ms. Sterling at my door? Am I still dreaming? Wait, I'm not wearing a shirt. Claire spun around, but not before she'd seen the lean muscle of his abdomen and a strange scar on his shoulder. It was an odd shape, almost like a bullet wound. Get dressed, she snapped, her ears turning crimson. And stop dreaming about me. Leo stood there, dumbfounded. How did you know I was dreaming about? A lucky guess. Claire fled back upstairs, hearing his confused thoughts trail her. Could she really read minds? No, impossible. That's too crazy. Back in her bedroom, Claire buried her face in her pillow. This was bad. Her mind-reading ability was apparently getting an upgrade, and now it could even tap into his dreams. In the Sterling Corporation boardroom, the atmosphere was tense. The partnership deal with Apex Innovations fell through. The marketing director said dejectedly, "They're insisting on a 51% controlling stake, or it's no deal." Claire frowned. What's Apex's trump card? Their new smart logistics system. It supposedly boosts efficiency by 40%. Leo, dozing in the corner, suddenly had a very active inner monologue. It's just a dynamic pathing algorithm with some AI forecasting. I could code something better in my sleep. Wait, why do I know that? Claire's eyes lit up. Mr. Rivera, your thoughts. All eyes swiveled to the pretty boy assistant. Leo jolted awake. Me? His mouth started moving, seemingly of its own accord, spouting technical jargon. Well, you could develop a multi-objective optimization model based on deep learning, integrating real-time traffic data. The room was silent. The CTO's jaw was on the floor. That proposal is at least 2 generations ahead of Apex's system. Leo himself looked stunned. What did I just say? A small smile played on Claire's lips. Do as Mr. Rivera says. Meeting adjourned. After everyone had left, Leo blocked her path. Ms. Sterling, I don't know where those words. They were from your spitballing, Claire said meaningfully, just like when you solved the last logistics crisis. Leo ran his hands through his hair in frustration. But I really am just a delivery guy. My resume is fake. I know, Claire cut him off. But you do know these things. She took a step closer. Just like you know hand-to-hand combat, multiple languages, and... Leo's mind was in turmoil. Oh God, she knows. But I don't even know myself. Do I have amnesia? Was I brainwashed? Or am I? Claire suddenly reached out and traced the scar on his shoulder. How did you get this? Leo went rigid. Delivering food. I fell. His thoughts were more honest. That's obviously a gunshot wound. But where would I get a gunshot wound? Who the hell am I? Claire thoughtfully withdrew her hand. Tomorrow, you're coming with me somewhere. Over the weekend, Claire drove Leo to a shooting range on the outskirts of the city. Ms. Sterling. Leo swallowed hard. You're not going to. Just testing your aim, Claire said, handing him a pistol. Do you know how to use this? As if it had a mind of its own, Leo's hand expertly checked the weapon, loaded the magazine, and took aim. Bang, bang, bang. 3 shots, all dead center in the bullseye. The range instructor whistled. Professional level, man. You ex-military. Leo's face was pale. This is my first time. His mind had already short-circuited. What the hell? Who the hell am I? Claire nodded, satisfied. Just as I thought. On the drive back, Leo was in a daze. Claire could hear his chaotic thoughts. Guns, fighting, business analysis. This isn't a delivery guy's skill set. Am I a spy? A fugitive? Stop thinking about it. Claire cut through a spiral. What do you want for dinner? Huh? Leo blinked. You're buying me dinner? What else? She arched an eyebrow. We're celebrating you successfully freaking yourself out. Leo's inner voice immediately perked up. Is this a date? Wait, does Ms. Sterling like me? No, she's just investigating me. But she looks really beautiful today. Claire's lips curved into a slight smile. Hot pot. What? I said, we're having hot pot for dinner, she repeated, turning the steering wheel. I know a place. Their taro milk tea is excellent. Leo's eyes widened. What did you know I like? A lucky guess, Claire said, keeping her eyes on the road, but she couldn't hide the smile in them. At the hot pot restaurant, Leo looked at the bubbling, spicy broth and the platters of food, so moved he nearly cried. It's been so long since I've eaten a meal this good. He muttered. Claire raised an eyebrow. Is the company treating you poorly? No. Leo waved his hands frantically. It's just, back when I was delivering, sometimes I only ate once a day. His thoughts revealed more. There were times I was so broke, I couldn't even afford ramen, just drank tap water. But why are those memories so hazy? A pang of sympathy hit Claire. She placed a slice of fatty beef in his bowl. Eat up. Leo, flattered, jerked in surprise, and knocked over his entire glass of beer. Sorry. He fumbled for napkins, only making the mess worse. Stop, Claire said with a sigh. She reached over to help him wipe it up, and their fingers accidentally touched. Leo's inner voice suddenly became incredibly clear. Her hands are so soft. I really want to hold one. No, Leo, get a grip. She's the CEO. You're just a fake assistant. But she's being so nice to me today. Claire's ears grew hot. She pretended not to hear. Just drink. 3 beers later, Leo's face was as red as the chili peppers in the pot, and his tongue had loosened considerably. Ms. Sterling, you know what? When I first saw you, I thought you were really what? She prompted. Really mean. Leo giggled. Like my old station manager. Like a queen. Claire. His thoughts, however, were far more honest. Really beautiful, really dazzling like a star. Oh God, what kind of cheesy stuff am I thinking? After 2 more beers, Leo was completely unrestrained. Ms. Sterling, I'll tell you a secret, he whispered, leaning in conspiratorially. I might not be the real Leo Rivera. Claire's heart skipped a beat. What do you mean? I can't remember things from before, Leo said, his eyes unfocused. My memories before I started delivering are all a blur. It's like someone erased them. His thoughts were a chaotic jumble. Who am I? Where did I come from? Why do I know all these weird things? But it's not so bad now. At least I get to see Ms. Sterling every day. Claire's heart clenched. It seemed his identity really was a mystery, but from the looks of it, he was just as clueless as she was. Don't think about it, she said, pouring him a glass of warm water. Let's go home. When it was time to pay, Leo was so drunk he could barely stand. Claire had to support him as they walked out, listening to his broken, mumbled thoughts. Like Ms. Sterling. Really like her. Her own heart suddenly started beating faster. Back at the penthouse, it took all of Claire's strength to get Leo onto the sofa. You're so heavy, she panted, only to see Leo suddenly sit bolt upright, his eyes startlingly clear. Ms. Sterling, he said seriously, I have something to tell you. Claire froze. You're not drunk. I am, Leo nodded. But there are some things I have to say now. His thoughts were clearer than they had ever been. If I don't say it now, I'll lose my nerve. Claire's heart was pounding against her ribs. What is it? Leo took a deep breath. I might not be who you think I am. I don't know who I am or why I know all these weird things. But he grabbed her hand. I know that I like you. From the very first moment I saw you. Before he could finish, his head lolled to the side, and he passed out on her shoulder. Claire remained frozen, listening to the sound of his even breathing and his slowly calming thoughts. Really like Ms. Sterling. She sighed softly, reaching out to smooth the frown from his brow. Idiot. That night, for the first time, Claire didn't go back to her own bedroom. She kept watch by the sofa, listening to Leo's steady heartbeat and occasional sleep-talking. She suddenly felt that who he was didn't really matter. What mattered was that, right now, he was here by her side. Mr. Rivera, you're coming with me to an auction tonight, she commanded without looking up from her work. Leo, who was in the middle of inhaling a sandwich, nearly choked. An auction? I don't know the first thing about antiques. Claire raised an eyebrow. Oh, I thought you knew a little bit about everything. Leo looked blank. Huh? What'd I know about that? But his inner voice immediately took over. If it's something good, you have to check the glaze, the body, the patina, though 90% of the stuff at these auctions are just traps for rich suckers. Oh, Miss. Sterling doesn't get fleeced. A smile played on Claire's lips. It's fine. You just need to be there. Leo. Oh crap. Is she actually counting on me to appraise stuff? I can't very well tell her my method is based on the feel of a takeout container to judge the age of porcelain. Can I? The auction house was teeming with New York's elite. Claire took her seat with an air of regal calm, while Leo stood behind her like a bodyguard, his mind a running ticker tape of snark. First item. A Ming Dynasty blue and white lotus vine vase. The auctioneer was effusive. This masterpiece from the official kills of Jingda Jun features a lustrous glaze and a clear mark on the base. Bidding starts at $500,000. Claire was about to raise her paddle when she heard Leo's thoughts. That clay body was clearly baked in a microwave last week. The glaze is so shiny you could use it as a mirror. If they could fire that kind of industrial glaze back in the Ming Dynasty, the Hanwu Emperor would have jumped up and shouted, "Technology changes lives." Claire's hand paused, and she calmly lowered her paddle. Second item, a Qing Dynasty white jade guanine statue. Auctioneer. The jade is exquisite and warm, the carving sublime. Experts have authenticated this as a piece from the Qianlong era imperial workshop. Bidding starts at $800,000. Leo's mind scoffed. What experts? Did they use a magnifying glass? The carving lines are so stiff, it looks like it was done by a machine. Qianlong era? If the Qianlong Emperor were alive today, the first thing he'd do is have that expert beheaded. Claire once again passed on bidding. Third item, a Republic-era Famille Rose Millefleur tea set. Auctioneer. This set is brilliantly colored with detailed painting. A rare survivor. Bidding starts at 300,000. Leo's inner monologue was a furious critique. Mille fleur? The pigments are as bright as a kid's watercolor set. The authentic colors aren't nearly this garish. If you're going to make a fake, at least respect the basic laws of chemistry. Claire nearly burst out laughing. She gracefully raised her teacup to hide her smile. Finally, the auctioneer brought out an unassuming, small brown teapot. This pot has a rustic shape and superior clay, but its exact age is unknown. Bidding starts at $50,000. The other bidders looked bored, but Leo's mind was hit by a thunderbolt. Holy crap, that clay, that patina, that's absolutely an early work by George or the Mad Potter of Biloxi. They're practically non-existent on the market. 50,000? Is this auction house blind? Claire smiled faintly and raised her paddle. 100,000. A murmur went through the crowd. A rival tycoon, unwilling to be outdone, called out, 150,000. Claire, unperturbed, replied, 300,000. The tycoon, teeth gritted, shot back, 350. Claire didn't even raise her head. 500,000. The room fell silent. The auctioneer's gavel came down with a thrilled crack. Sold. To Ms. Sterling. Leo was giving a mental standing ovation. Ms. Sterling is a badass. That pot is worth at least $2 million on the open market. What a steal. Claire rose gracefully and murmured to Leo, it seems you're not entirely useless, after all. Leo. In a limo on the way home, Leo was fidgeting, stealing glances at Claire. Can she really read minds? No way, that defies science. But if not, how did she know that teapot was real? Claire calmly flipped through the auction catalog, pretending not to hear. Leo's mind continued to spin. Maybe she's secretly an antiques master, or she has some reclusive genius as a consultant. Or maybe she's actually a superhero. Sterling Corporation was in talks with the global luxury conglomerate LVM, and their negotiator was notoriously difficult. A Frenchman named Pierre, who fancied himself the Napoleon of the negotiating table. Before the meeting, Claire scanned a file and asked nonchalantly, Mr. Rivera, how do you think we should approach this? Leo, who was sneakily eating a cookie, almost choked. Huh, me? I don't know anything about luxury goods. His inner voice, however, sprang to life. LVM wants to trade their second-tier brands for Sterling's prime retail channels, right? Do they think Ms. Sterling is a sucker? Their Royal Collection sales plummeted by 40% in Europe last year. Now, they're desperate to offload it onto the Asian market. Claire raised an eyebrow. Oh, and what do you think their weaknesses are? Leo looked utterly lost. Weaknesses? How would I know? His mind continued its rapid-fire analysis. This guy Pierre looks smooth, but he's terrified of silence. I heard he caved and lowered his price during a negotiation in Milan just because the other side clammed up, and he's super sensitive about being told he doesn't understand the Asian market. That's his Achilles heel. Claire smiled faintly. Fine, then you'll just stand beside me, and don't say a word. Leo, great, I just have to be a decorative vase. Wait, why is Ms. Sterling smiling like that? It's terrifying. In the conference room, Pierre, impeccably dressed, began in English thick with a French accent. Ms. Sterling, our collaboration will be a perfect fusion of Eastern and Western luxury. Claire elegantly sipped her coffee, listening to Leo's real-time mental translation and commentary. Perfect fusion? More like they want to swap their leftover inventory for our prime real estate. East-West cultural exchange, my ass. So pretentious. Pierre continued his spiel. Our royal collection is beloved by the aristocracy in Europe. Leo was rolling his eyes internally. Beloved by the aristocracy? You mean because it's always on a massive discount? The jewelry they sponsored for that royal wedding last year gave the bride an allergic reaction and sent her to the hospital. Claire suddenly set down her cup, her voice cutting through his praise. Mr. Pierre, to my knowledge, the Royal Collection's European sales dropped by 40% last year. Is that correct? Pierre's face froze. Well, Leo was laughing his head off in his mind. Ha ha ha, Ms. Sterling is a savage. Goes right for the throat. But how did she know that? Did the marketing department already dig that up? Pierre forced a smile. Ms. Sterling, numbers don't tell the whole story. Our brand value. Claire smiled faintly. Brand value? But your marketing strategy in the Asian markets last year was a complete failure. You didn't even consider basic cultural differences. Pierre was instantly on the defensive. That's impossible. We have done extensive research on the Asian market. Leo's mind supplied the brutal details. Extensive research? For Chinese New Year, Their ad campaign featured white gift boxes with chrysanthemums, and they hired an Indian model for a Cheongsam ad. They were roasted online for their cross-dimensional, funereal aesthetic. Claire followed his lead. For instance, your white chrysanthemum gift boxes for last year's Lunar New Year campaign. Pierre's composure shattered. That was artistic expression. Leo was trying so hard not to laugh, he felt a vessel might burst in his brain. Artistic expression? The internet called it the official gift set for visiting a grave. How does Ms. Sterling know this stuff? It's unreal. The negotiation stalled. Pierre fell silent, trying to pressure her. It was his signature move. The room was painfully quiet. Leo's mind was racing. Here we go. The Frenchman is playing his game of whoever speaks first loses. Don't fall for it, Ms. Sterling. He's more desperate than we are. His bosses gave him a 3-day deadline. Claire calmly flipped through a document, not saying a word. After 30 seconds, sweat beaded on Pierre's forehead. After a minute, he began unconsciously tapping his pen. After 2 minutes, he finally broke. Ms. Sterling, perhaps we could be more flexible on the price. Leo was ecstatic. Ha ha ha, he cracked. Ms. Sterling is a queen. Claire smiled. Since you're being so sincere, Mr. Pierre, let's revisit the profit-sharing ratio. In the end, Sterling Corp secured the deal on terms 30% more favorable than they had initially hoped for. At the celebration dinner, executives flocked to her. Ms. Sterling, you were incredible. How did you even know LVM's internal numbers? Claire sipped her champagne. You think I'm CEO for nothing? Leo stood nearby, his mind reeling. Ms. Sterling was like a god today. Did she hire a corporate spy? Or is she a master hacker? The marketing director asked curiously. Ms. Sterling, how did you know Pierre was afraid of silence? Claire glanced at Leo. Observation. Leo's brain was still churning. Observation? An old fox like Pierre would never show his weaknesses that easily. Does Ms. Sterling really have superpowers? No, must believe in science. Just then, a defeated Pierre walked over. Ms. Sterling, may I ask how you saw through our strategy? Claire smiled. Just lucky, I guess. Leo's mind screamed. Lucky? That was a tactical takedown. It was like she walked into the exam with the answer key. Did she secretly learn how to read minds? Wait, all the things I was thinking about her. Could she have heard them? No way, that's too crazy. Claire, trying so hard not to laugh, she might break a rib. The next day, Leo decided to run an experiment. He stood at the door of Claire's office and said aloud, Ms. Sterling, you look very nice today, while thinking as loud as he could. I love Ms. Sterling. I love Ms. Sterling. I love Ms. Sterling. Claire didn't look up. Flattery will get you nowhere. You're still working late. Leo. Okay, she can't hear me. Yesterday must have been a coincidence. He breathed a sigh of relief and turned away, his mind reverting to its usual programming. Damn capitalists. All they know is how to exploit the working class. Claire's voice, sharp as a whip, cut through the air. Mr. Rivera, what did you just say? Leo froze. I didn't say anything. Claire's eyes narrowed. Really? Leo? Holy crap. She can hear me. No, it has to be a coincidence. Yes, a coincidence. He forced a calm expression. You must have misheard, Ms. Sterling. I was just thinking, this coffee is delicious. Claire replied, oh, but you're drinking tea. Leo, I'm done for. She can definitely read minds. Is it too late to quit? Claire watched the cascade of emotions on his face and finally let out a small laugh. That's enough. Get back to work. Leo fled as if escaping a death sentence, his thoughts trailing behind him. From this day forward, I will mentally recite the Pledge of Allegiance on a loop. I can't let her know. Claire. Laughing so hard she could barely hold her files. Her mother's call was as predictable as it was unwelcome. Claire, dear, the Lexington boy just got back from Cambridge. You two should meet. Claire's face was a mask of indifference. Not interested. You're 28, her mother lamented. You have to go this time. I've already booked a table at a 3-Michelin-star restaurant. After hanging up, Claire rubbed her temples. Leo walked in with her coffee. Ms. Sterling, your latte. His thoughts drifted out uncontrollably. Ms. Sterling is going on a blind date? Who's the unlucky schmuck? No, wait. Any guy would be lucky to get her attention. Though with her personality, she'll probably freeze him solid. Claire looked up suddenly. Mr. Rivera, you'll be accompanying me to a dinner tonight. Leo's hand twitched. Huh? What kind of dinner? A blind date. Leo. Holy crap. She's taking me with her on a blind date? Am I supposed to be a third wheel? Or a human shield? Wait, is she going to ask me to pretend to be her boyfriend? Claire watched the storm of expressions on his face and added slowly, You'll be responsible for taking notes on the key talking points. Leo. Oh, so I'm just the secretary. Got excited for nothing. At the restaurant, Chadwick Chad, Lexington 3, was the picture of preppy entitlement in his bespoke suit. Claire, a pleasure. I've heard so much about you. He offered his business card with a smug smile. I studied finance at Cambridge, working in investment banking now. Claire gave a polite nod. Leo, standing to the side, was having a field day. What a poser. He's got so many titles on his business card. You'd think he was insecure or something. Cambridge finance? More like his dad donated a library to get him in. Chad, completely unaware that his entire persona was being mentally dismantled, continued to drone on. I'm very interested in Sterling Corporation's business model, particularly the supply chain logistics. Leo's inner monologue kept pace. Supply chain? This guy probably doesn't even know how to spell it. His family's cosmetics factory was all over the news last year for not paying its workers. His dad had to throw a mountain of cash at it to make the story go away. Claire spoke up suddenly. Mr. Lexington, since you're so knowledgeable about supply chains, perhaps you could explain why your family's Southeast Asian factory abruptly shut down last year. Chad's expression froze. That was a strategic pivot. Leo was howling with laughter internally. Strategic pivot, my ass. They got caught using substandard materials and were fined into bankruptcy. Ms. Sterling is ruthless. Chad quickly changed the subject. So what are your hobbies, Claire? Claire, work. Chad. Leo's inner voice added commentary. And there it is. Ms. Sterling has activated conversation ender mode. This guy won't last 3 rounds. In a desperate attempt to recover, Chad decided to deploy his humor. A beautiful woman, like you must have guys lining up around the block, he said with a wink. But I'm sure none of them are as exceptional as I am. Leo almost spit out his water. What is this, a pickup line from a 1980s frat movie? As exceptional as I am? Does he think he's God's gift? That face has clearly been tweaked. His chin is so sharp, he could open letters with it. Claire took a sip of her tea. Are you always this confident, Mr. Lexington? Chad, completely missing the sarcasm, puffed out his chest. Of course. I have the assets to back it up. He deliberately flashed a limited edition Patek Philippe on his wrist. Leo's mind went on a full-blown tirade. It's a fake. A total knockoff. The color on the dial of a real one is much richer. And this idiot didn't even screw the crown down all the way. It's not even waterproof anymore. Claire glanced at the watch. Your watch is very unique. Chad, thinking he'd impressed her, grew even more smug. It's nothing. Just a couple million. Claire nodded. Yes. Uniquely fake. Chad. Leo was mentally rolling on the floor. Ha, Ms. Sterling is a savage. She just called him out. But how did she know it was a fake? Is she a watch expert too? Chad, red-faced and furious, decided to play his trump card. Claire, he leaned in, lowering his voice. A merger between our families would be a win-win. My father said that if we get married, the Lexingtons are prepared to invest $1 billion in a Sterling Corp. Leo's mind exploded. $1 billion? Who is he kidding? His family's cash flow is about to dry up completely. They were begging bank for loans just last month. This is a classic pump and dump scheme, trying to use Sterling to bail them out. Claire set down her fork and knife and smiled faintly. Mr. Lexington, your family corporation had a debt-to-asset ratio of over 80% last quarter, and your credit lines are maxed out. She dabbed her lips with her napkin. What exactly were you planning on using for that billion-dollar investment? Air. Chad's face went white as a sheet. How did you know that? Leo was dumbfounded. Ms. Sterling even knows that. This goes way beyond simple business research. Does she have a mole inside the Lexington Group? Claire stood up. I believe we're done here. Chad, not ready to give up, pleaded, Claire, please just give me one more chance. Claire didn't look back. Mr. Rivera, show our guest out. Leo stepped forward immediately. Mr. Lexington, this way, please. His mind was singing with vindictive glee. Serves you right, you arrogant prick. Trying to show off in front of Ms. Sterling? You just got spectacularly owned. In the car on the way back, Leo couldn't help but ask Ms. Sterling, did you investigate the Lexington Group beforehand? Claire stared out the window. I did. Leo's mind was filled with admiration. Ms. Sterling is always 10 steps ahead. And she was so cool today, the way she shut him down was epic. Wait, why is my heart beating so fast? Claire suddenly turned to him. Mr. Rivera. Leo snapped to attention. Yes. Order a bouquet of flowers for me tomorrow. Leo. Flowers? For who? Don't tell me she actually liked that Chad guy. No way. Claire added dryly. Send them to my mother. The card should read. Great introduction. Don't ever do it again. Leo. That's my CEO. She roasts even her own mother. Mindy Bloom. The head of HR bounced into the office. Ms. Sterling, for this year's team building retreat, we've decided on a resort in the Catskills. There will be barbecue, an escape room, and a hot tub. Claire looked up from her files. I'm not going. Mindy was prepared, but every department voted for it. Even Walter from finance said he's bringing his swim trunks. Leo, organizing documents nearby, was trying to suppress his own thoughts. An escape room? Ms. Sterling in an escape room? I can't even picture it. She'd probably just freeze the game master solid. Claire suddenly turned her head. Mr. Rivera seems excited. Leo's hands fumbled, sending papers scattering. I just think team building is a good idea. His mind, however, was screaming. Oh no. Is she going to put me in charge of planning? I'm still having nightmares about the punishment game from last year's holiday party. A small smile played on Claire's lips. Very well. We'll go. Mr. Rivera, you'll be responsible for my itinerary. Leo, I knew it. At the resort's barbecue area, various departments were grilling. Gary from marketing sidled up to Claire. Ms. Sterling, try some of this Wagyu I grilled. I had it flown in specially from Japan. Leo, standing by her side, was mentally rolling his eyes. Flown in from Japan, my ass. The packaging clearly said Trader Joe's special. What a suck-up. Claire elegantly put down her chopsticks. Gary, perhaps you should save the supermarket specials for yourself. Gary's face went pale. Walter from finance quickly tried to smooth things over. Ms. Sterling, how about try my lamb chops? Leo's inner commentary went in a high alert. Oh God, not him. The last time Walter grilled, he gave half the company food poisoning. Rum is. Sterling run. Claire calmly pushed the plate away. Walter, I still haven't signed off on last year's medical expense reports. Walter. Leo was gobsmacked. Is Ms. Sterling psychic today? How does she know everything? Did she secretly install cameras everywhere? During the escape room activity, Claire was randomly assigned to Leo's group. The game master explained the rules. This theme is Tomb Raiders. You have 60 minutes to find the treasure. Leo pretended to listen intently, but his mind was wailing. This is horrible, Ms. Sterling hates stupid games like this. Wait, is she just going to break down the door? The repair costs won't come out of our salaries, will they? Once the game started, their teammate Amy was staring at a combination lock in frustration. What do these ancient symbols even mean? Leo understood it instantly. It's just the words Mountain Sea Scroll written backwards. The designers are so lazy. Before he could say anything, Claire had already keyed in the answer. Mountain Sea Scroll. The lock clicked open. The whole group? Leo was mentally reeling. Ms. Sterling even knows ancient scripts? Is she even human? Wait, did she secretly look up the walkthrough? The next room required them to align a series of gears based on a star chart on the ceiling. Their colleagues were stumped. Is that Scorpio? Leo was silently judging them. Have these people never looked at the night sky? That's obviously the Big Dipper. You just have to turn the handle until... Claire had already reached up and turned the mechanism. The Big Dipper, handle pointing east. A hidden door slid open. Their teammates were ready to kneel. Ms. Sterling, have you done this room before? Claire just shook her head. Intuition. Leo. A woman's intuition is a terrifying thing. That evening at the hot tub, Leo was enjoying a relaxing soak when a scream erupted from the women's section next door. There's a mouse. The entire area descended into chaos. Leo's mind filled with glee. It must be that hamster Kevin from logistics brought with him. Wait a second. Ms. Sterling is in the women's hot tub. He was about to jump out when he heard Claire's calm, cool voice. It's not a mouse. It's a hamster. This was followed by her composed instruction. Staff, please come and secure this hamster. The entire hot tub area fell silent. Leo was on his knees in his mind. Ms. Sterling even knew that. I have to be extra nice to her from now on. She's terrifying. Then another thought popped into his head. I wonder what Ms. Sterling looks like in a swimsuit. Maybe a bikini. Suddenly, from the other side of the partition came a loud splash, as if someone had slipped. A staff member's panicked voice cried out, Ms. Sterling, are you all right? Claire's voice, uncharacteristically flustered, replied, I'm fine. On the bus back, Amy was excitedly recapping the day. The most amazing discovery from this trip. Ms. Sterling is an escape room god. Her colleagues all agreed. She was incredible. It was like she had psychic powers. Leo, sitting in the corner, thought to himself, you people have no idea how terrifying Ms. Sterling is. She probably even knows what I'm thinking right now. Claire suddenly turned her head. Mr. Rivera. Leo jumped. Yes. For next week's departmental review, You'll be presenting the report. Leo. It's over. She can definitely hear me. Should I start reciting the Constitution in my head? Claire looked out the window, the corners of her mouth twitching upwards. Mindy Bloom, the HR director, approached Claire's desk, trembling. Ms. Sterling, this year's annual party is booked at the Grand Hyatt. The program includes a musical number from marketing, a comedy routine from IT. Claire didn't look up from her document. Cancel the prize raffle. Mindy looked like she was about to cry. But the $1 million grand prize is what the employees look forward to most. Leo, organizing files nearby, had a thought. Last year's raffle was rigged by Ms. Sterling to be a consolation prize for all. Everyone got a single pack of tissues. The nerds in IT are still complaining about it on Reddit. Claire suddenly closed the folder. Fine. Keep the raffle. Mindy was overjoyed. Thank you, Ms. Sterling. I'll go prepare, but change the prizes to this. Claire pushed a list across the desk. Mindy's face turned to stone as she read it. Leo snuck a peek, and his mind imploded. A physical copy of the romance novel claimed by the billionaire, an online course titled How to Live with a Capricorn, a spa day experience voucher. What kind of demonetized list is this? At the party that night, during marketing's pop group dance number, Gary the manager suddenly ran on stage and attempted a series of breakdancing moves. The entire ballroom fell silent. Leo covered his face, his mind screaming. Oh, the humanity. The pelvic gyrations of a greasy, middle-aged man. The cleaning staff are pulling out their phones to record this for blackmail purposes. Claire coolly pressed a button on her tablet. 0 points. The giant screen behind the stage displayed the judges' scores in real time. Gary froze mid-pose. When the IT department performed their comedy routine, the two programmers forgot their lines, creating an awkward silence. Leo was panicking for them. Just use the quantum wave speed reading joke. You practiced it 20 times in rehearsal? Claire suddenly picked up her microphone. Quantum wave speed reading. The programmer on stage lit up as if saved by a divine angel. Yes, just like our boss's reading speed. The room erupted in laughter. Leo's mind was blown. How does Ms. Sterling even know the jokes from the rehearsal? Did she bug the office? When the grand prize was announced, the winner, Walter from finance, stared at his prize certificate in confusion. How to Live with a Capricorn. Course access. Permanent. Leo was trying so hard not to laugh. He was physically shaking. This is gold. Everyone in the company knows Walter's wife is a Capricorn. Ms. Sterling's precision targeting is better than a guided missile. The second prize winner, Kevin from logistics, looked at his spa voucher and burst into tears. Why is it a voucher for two? I don't even have a girlfriend. Claire added calmly. You can bring your hamster. The entire room. Leo mentally bowed down. She even knows about the hamster. Ms. Sterling definitely has the logistics department under surveillance. Wait, could she actually? Reminds. The host suddenly announced. And now, for a special performance, please welcome Leo Rivera from the CEO's office. Leo. I didn't sign up for this. It must be Mindy getting revenge because I refused her offer of milk tea last week. Claire turned to look at him. You're not going? Leo squared his shoulders. I'm going. Standing on stage, his mind was a frantic whirlwind. Singing? The last time I did karaoke, my rendition of I Will Always Love You sounded like a dying pig. Dancing? I still have PTSD from the time my pants split open during a performance with a college dance crew. Suddenly, an idea struck. Yes, I can do that. 5 minutes later, the entire company watched in stunned silence as Leo performed his office supply symphony, using a photocopier as a drum kit, a paper shredder as an electric guitar, and even tapping out a beatbox rhythm on the time clock. Claire was the first to applaud. Prize for creativity. Leo breathed a sigh of relief, only to hear her add, You're on the schedule again for next year. His soul instantly crumbled. No, that burst of creativity was fueled by 25 years of being single. I can't do it again. After the party, Leo was left to clean up the prizes. Claire suddenly appeared beside him. Your performance. Leo flinched. It was terrible, right? I promise next year I'll... It was interesting, Claire said, setting down her coffee cup. Better than certain people's pelvic dances. Leo stood frozen, a fireworks display going off in his head. Ms. Sterling praised me. Wait, has she been replaced by an alien pod person? Or am I finally getting a promotion? Next month, you're coming with me on a business trip to Germany. Yes, ma'am. Leo answered instantly, the mental fireworks continuing. Germany. I can eat pork knuckle, drink beer, buy some Wusthof knives. No, wait, the important thing is she's taking me on a business trip? Am I finally graduating from the CEO's kept man? As she reached the door, Claire turned back. By the way, yes, layoff claimed by the billionaire. How did she know I was reading that in my browser's incognito mode? This woman can definitely read minds. Leo was petrified on the spot. In the first-class cabin, Leo sat ramrod straight, stealing glances at Claire, who was resting with her eyes closed. Ms. Sterling looks so peaceful when she's sleeping. Her eyelashes are so long. Wait, what am I thinking? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. A flight attendant pushed a cart by. Sir, anything to drink? Coffee, please. Cream or sugar? Just as Leo was about to answer, he heard Claire say, her eyes still closed, he doesn't take sugar, but he'll need 2 creams. The flight attendant and Leo's mind reeled. How does she even know my coffee habits? This is not normal. Did she spy on me while I was making coffee? Claire slowly opened her eyes. You always pour the creamer twice. Leo, she remembers details like that. Is it possible, Ms. Sterling has a crush on me? No way. The plane suddenly hit a patch of turbulence. Leo instinctively gripped the armrest, his mind wailing. Oh God, I hate turbulence. Somebody save me. A cool hand suddenly covered his. Claire stared straight ahead. Don't worry. It's just an air pocket. Leo was petrified. Why is Ms. Sterling being so nice? And this gesture, this line, this is straight out of a cheesy romance drama. On a street in Munich, Leo was turning in circles, staring at his phone. Why is Google Maps telling me to walk through this wall? Are all Germans secretly wizards? Ms. Sterling is going to call me an idiot again. Claire suddenly ducked into a small alleyway. This way, 3 minutes later, they magically arrived at their destination. Leo was dumbfounded. Ms. Sterling, have you been to Germany before? First time. Then how did you? Claire pointed to a sign on the wall. In German, Durchgang means passageway. Leo mentally facepalmed. I was so busy thinking about Ms. Sterling, I forgot to look at the actual signs. At lunch, a cheerful waiter recommended the special. We have a fantastic pork knuckle today. Leo's eyes lit up. Here it is. The musty German delicacy. I'm going to order the biggest one. Claire spoke up. Just a regular portion for him. He had an upset stomach yesterday. The waiter beamed. Your wife is so considerate. Leo choked on his water. Cough, cough, cough. Claire calmly wiped the table. In German, partner can also refer to a business associate. In the conference room, their German counterpart, Hans, was droning on. And therefore, the price must increase by 15%. Leo was sweating. This old guy is full of it. International raw material prices have dropped. Does he think we're fools? Claire suddenly pushed a file across the table. According to the London Metal Exchange, the price of copper has fallen by 8% year over year. Hans's expression shifted. Well, that is. Leo was cheering internally. Nice one. Wait, when did Ms. Sterling prepare that data? Did she anticipate his anticipation? When the negotiation reached a standstill, Hans switched to German to confer with his colleagues. The Americans don't understand the brewing process. We could just feed them some nonsense. Leo panicked. What is this bird language? Wait, does he think we won't understand him just because we're in Germany? Claire suddenly countered in fluent German. Since your company is willing to falsify the origin of your hops, perhaps we'd be better off negotiating with a Belgian firm. The entire German team's faces paled. On the way back to the hotel, Leo was practically worshiping her. Ms. Sterling, your German is incredible. I minored in it in college. Then how did you know they were? Claire replied nonchalantly. I read lips. Leo's mind exploded into fireworks. What kind of spy skill is that? Is Ms. Sterling's real identity a CIA operative? Late that night, a knock on the door startled Leo awake. He opened it to find Claire in a bathrobe. He was instantly wide awake. Holy crap, what is happening? Is the legendary casting couch scenario finally here? Should I play hard to get, or just lie down and accept my fate? Claire frowned. The air conditioning in your room is broken. I heard a strange noise. Leo, baffled, checked his AC unit. It's not blowing cold. But how did you? The walls are thin, Claire said, turning to leave. Move into the suite next to mine. Leo followed, clutching his pillow, his mind racing. What is this? The Alpha CO style of caring for someone? Wait, could she really hear me complaining about the AC through the wall? Then what about last night, when I was secretly reading Claim by the billionaire? In the new suite, Leo tossed and turned. The bed is too soft. The pillow is too high. This body wash has the same scent as Ms. Sterling's. What am I doing smelling things? I'm a pervert. Suddenly, he got a text from Claire. Breakfast at 7 a.m. tomorrow. Attached was a screenshot of the private Facebook post he had made 3 minutes earlier complaining about the soft bed. Leo was so shocked he literally fell out of bed. How can she see that? This isn't mind reading anymore. This is hacking. In the airport lounge, Leo finally worked up the courage. Ms. Sterling, am I what? Are you able to hear what I'm thinking? Claire set down her coffee cup and suddenly leaned in close. Leo held his breath. Oh God, this distance. Her eyelashes are so long. Her lips look so soft. Mr. Rivera, Claire said, looking directly into his eyes. You read too many web novels. Then she turned and walked gracefully toward the gate. Leo was frozen to the spot. What kind of answer is that? Is that a yes or no? And how does she know I read web novels? Aya, I'm going to lose my mind. As the plane took off, he caught a glimpse of the curve of her lips. I'm doomed. I think I've been completely and utterly captured by this she-devil. Leo scurried into the boardroom, arms laden with files, and was met by the sinister smile of the CFO, Walter Davis. Leo, my boy, I hear you're handling the quarterly report this time. That old fox's smile is creepy. The last time he smiled like that, Gary from marketing was exiled to the warehouse. Claire's voice suddenly came from behind him. Walter, you seem to have a lot of free time. Perhaps you should start by reviewing the 37 accounting irregularities flagged by the last audit. Walter's face went white. Leo's heart sang with joy. Ms. Sterling for the win. Wait, 37? The audit report only mentioned 36. Does she even know about the hidden books? The chairman cleared his throat. Regarding the new energy project, some board members have expressed concerns about the ROI. Leo glanced at Director Lee, the most vocal opponent. This old geezer definitely took a bribe from a competitor. I saw his assistant acting shady yesterday. Claire suddenly opened a folder. Speaking of which, here are some photos of Director Lee's assistant accepting gifts in the Four Seasons parking garage yesterday. The projector lit up, showing a crisp image of the assistant stuffing a luxury brand's shopping bag into the trunk of a car. The room was dead silent. Leo's jaw hit the table. Where did she get that picture? Did she hire a private investigator? Wait, how did she know what I was thinking? Director Lee shot to his feet. This is slander. Claire coolly swiped on her tablet. Shall we play the dashcam audio? Director Lee collapsed back into his chair. During the break, Leo was in the break room chugging ice water to calm his nerves. The HR director, a notorious gossip, sidled up. Leo, I hear promotion is in your future. This harpy is trying to pump me for information again. She's the one who started the rumors about me and Ms. Sterling. Director, Claire materialized in the doorway like a phantom. About that Etsy shop you were running last year, using company resources. The HR director's hand jerked, spilling coffee all over her Hermes scarf. Ms. Sterling, I'll go write my self-criticism report right now. Leo cowered in the corner. It's over. She knows too many secrets. Am I next? What about the fanfiction I printed with the company printer last week? Claire turned her head suddenly. The art was quite good. Huh. The composition on page 18 of Claimed by the Sea. Leo felt his soul crack in two. She even knows the page number? I hid that thing at the very bottom of my desk drawer. As the meeting concluded, the chairman singled him out. Leo, what's your take on this proposal? Leo, who had been completely zoned out, snapped to attention. Crap, I didn't hear a thing. My go-to move is to say I completely agree with Ms. Sterling's opinion. Wait, what did Ms. Sterling just say? Claire, without missing a beat, said, Mr. Rivera's point is that we could follow the model of our Singapore branch, ensuring a 15% profit margin while. The chairman nodded, satisfied. An excellent insight. Leo was ready to worship her. Is Ms. Sterling covering for me? Is it possible she's actually a good person? No, this must be some new, advanced form of psychological manipulation. After the meeting, the chairman clapped Leo on the shoulder. Good work, young man. You'll represent the company at the industry summit next week. Before Leo could celebrate, he heard Claire add, remember to wear that navy blue suit. How does she know that's my most expensive suit? Wait, has she been watching me every time I get changed? Stop. I can't think about this. Working late, the entire floor was empty except for the two of them. Leo finally summoned his courage. Ms. Sterling, are you a mind reader? Claire set down her pen. What do you think? Oh God, this distance. Her perfume smells so good. What am I thinking? I need to recite the Bill of Rights. Leo walked into the CEO's office with a coffee and found Claire, for the first time ever, rubbing her temples. Ms. Sterling looks terrible today. Did she sleep badly? Or did she find out I stole the chocolate from her desk drawer? Claire looked up. What did you just say? Huh, I didn't say anything. Ms. Sterling's legs look amazing in those stockings today. Claire showed no reaction, continuing to sign documents. Seeing her lack of response, Leo's thoughts grew bolder. Her waist is so slim, I want to wrap my arms around it. Her lips look so soft, I want to kiss them. He didn't notice that the tip of Claire's pen had just ripped through the paper. During the evening rush, the elevator was packed. Leo was pressed tightly against Claire. Holy crap, this proximity. Her hair is brushing against my neck. So fragrant. It's that expensive rose perfume. He stuck a glance downward and saw the hint of her collarbone between the buttons of her silk blouse. Oh no, I'm going to have a physical reaction. Must recite multiplication tables. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. The elevator suddenly lurched, and Claire fell into his arms. Leo instinctively wrapped an arm around her waist. Careful. The feeling of her slender waist in his hand caused his brain to short-circuit. So slim. So soft. Is this workplace harassment? Will I get fired? But I really want to touch her again. Claire looked up, their noses almost touching. Leo stared at her lips, so close to his. Would I die if I kissed her? Probably worth it. Just as he was inexplicably leaning in, ding, the elevator doors opened. The entire marketing department stared, jaws agape, at their intimate pose. Explain. Claire slapped a screenshot from the security footage on her desk. The photo showed Leo's hand resting coincidentally on her backside. Leo waved his hands frantically. It's the angle. I swear I didn't touch. Although she does have a great ass. Claire's eyes narrowed. Is that so? Honestly, Leo decided to just go for it. Ms. Sterling, your figure is just too good. After a suffocating silence, Claire suddenly turned and walked towards the private lounge. In here, Leo's legs turned to jelly. Is she going to fire me or murder me? Inside the small lounge, Claire locked the door and suddenly grabbed his wrist. Aya, she's touching me. I'm holding Ms. Sterling's hand. She's wearing a black lace bra today. Claire's ears suddenly turned pink. Pervert. She stood on her toes, getting closer. Close your eyes. Think about something else. Her rose-scented breath washed over his lips. Leo squeezed his eyes shut. The preamble to the Constitution. We the people. No, it's not working. My mind is full of her. We're definitely going to kiss now. A soft pressure suddenly met his lips. Leo's eyes flew open, and he saw Claire's eyelashes, long and dark, just inches from his face. When they parted, she licked her lips. I'll take responsibility for you. Leo's soul left his body. So, my first kiss is gone. Claire had already resumed her icy demeanor. You're working late tonight. She paused at the door and added, bring your toothbrush. Leo, what does that mean? Is that an official notice of a workplace affair? At 10 o'clock, in the empty CEO's office, Leo stared at the document on the table, his voice trembling. Informed consent for physical contact in the study of quantum entanglement. Is this legal? Claire pushed a pen towards him. Article 17, Section 3. The employee is obligated to cooperate with company research projects. She totally just made that up. And why are the methods of contact so detailed? Hand-holding, 10 minutes. Hugging, 5 minutes. Kissing, 3 minutes. This is basically a date itinerary. The pen was suddenly snatched from his hand. Having second thoughts? Claire asked, unbuttoning her blazer with one hand. No. Leo grabbed the pen back and signed his name with a flourish. Claire's lips curved into a smile. Let the experiment begin. Leo shakily placed his hand on the table. Claire covered it with her own, their fingers lacing together. Oh God, her palm is sweaty. Is Ms. Sterling nervous too? Wait, this is basically what couples do. Claire frowned. Focus on one thing. Right. Okay, think about work. Quarterly reports. Ms. Sterling's lips are so soft. No, what am I thinking? Test 2, hugging. Leo stood stiff as a board as Claire gently wrapped her arms around his waist. Crap. My heart is beating so loud, she can probably hear it. Her hair is tickling my nose. Smells so good. Claire suddenly let out a muffled grunt. Stop thinking strange things. I am not. I was just imagining tearing off her suit and skirt. Test 3, lip contact. Leo stared at her approaching red lips and suddenly put a hand on her shoulder. Wait, if this is for science, shouldn't we control the variables? For example, he inexplicably removed her gold-rimmed glasses. The frames might get in the way. What am I saying? But without her glasses, Ms. Sterling looks so vulnerable. The moment their lips touched, Leo suddenly heard a new, unfamiliar thought. So sweet. Leo's eyes flew open. Was that you? Thinking. Claire, for the first time, looked flustered. The experiment is terminated. Wait. I think. I can hear Ms. Sterling's thoughts now. This isn't scientific. Leo clutched the research notes. Could quantum entanglement actually be real? Claire suddenly loosened her tie. Continue the experiment. Increase the surface area of contact. She sat down directly on his lap. Focus and feel. Leo's soul nearly left his body. This position is so scandalous. And why are you on top? MMPH. In that instant, a torrent of thoughts flooded his mind. Idiot. When you sneak glances at me every day, it's actually very cute. Leo was stunned to realize that when Claire's emotions were high, he could hear snippets of her thoughts. And right now, he heard one crystal clear thought. Like. The next morning, Leo deliberately swayed past Claire's desk, holding coffee. Ms. Sterling said she liked me yesterday. Snap. The tip of Claire's pen broke. Her ears are turning red. The file in her hand was crushed into a wrinkled mess. So the Ice Queen act is all a front. Claire suddenly grabbed his tie. Mr. Rivera. Why yes. We'll continue the experiment tonight, she said in a low voice. To study whether sound can still be transmitted if the mouth is otherwise occupied. Leo. Oh crap, I've gone too far. In the dark, musty archives room, Claire locked the door behind them. Explain. Leo steeled himself. I was just curious. How you can read minds. Not that. Claire advanced on him. Why were you fantasizing about me in a maid outfit this morning? Crap, she heard everything. Wait a minute. Now I can read her mind in return. The advantage is mine, he boldly counterattacked. Well, why were you fantasizing about pinning me to the conference table yesterday? Claire's eyes widened in shock. Huh, counterattack successful. Wait, why is she unbuttoning her shirt? Since we're reading each other, Claire said, undoing the first button, we might as well have a frank exchange. Just as the second button flew off, the power in the archives went out, plunging them into darkness. In the pitch black, Leo was shoved against a shelving unit. He heard ragged breathing next to his ear. Now, who can hear whom? MMS. Sterling, isn't this a bit much? It's for science. Claire grabbed his hand and pressed it against her chest. Record my heart rate. He could feel a frantic pounding against his palm. 120 BPM. So you're nervous, too? He suddenly heard a clear thought. Idiot. Another followed. You're the one who started this. A spark of inspiration hit Leo. He leaned in and whispered in her ear. So, do you like it? I like it. Catching that single thought was all the confirmation Leo needed. He finally made his move. Weird. Where's the key to the archives? The voice of a director drifted from the hallway. The entangled figures on a shelf froze simultaneously. Claire, let go. Leo, you're the one holding my tie. As the sound of a key turning in the lock echoed, they scrambled to hide in the tight space behind the rearmost filing cabinet. In the cramped darkness, Claire was forced to straddle his lap. This position, we're definitely going to get caught. As the beam of a flashlight swept past, Leo suddenly pressed Claire's head down, burying her face in his shoulder. The director muttered something about a tripped breaker, and his footsteps faded away. Once they were safe, neither of them moved. Leo's throat was dry. Do we still need to measure my heart rate? Claire suddenly bit his earlobe. Let's measure something else. Wait, that feeling. Are you unbuckling my belt? Is this what you call scientific research? A metallic click echoed in the darkness. Ms. Sterling, the door isn't locked. Call me Claire. After the door was locked, just as Leo finally managed to turn the tables and press her against the shelves, he heard a thought, laced with a hint of a sob. Be gentle. It's my first time. He stopped instantly. You've never. Claire buried her face in his neck. Experimental data must be kept confidential. The next morning, the director stared in shock at the archives room. Who knocked over the shelving unit for the MK-071 project and spilled coffee everywhere? Wait, were these white stains? While the entire office was buzzing with rumors of the archives being haunted, Leo was secretly massaging Claire's lower back in her office. Does it hurt? Shut up. It's all your fault. Leo smiled and kissed the top of her head. Shall we continue our research tonight? In response, a blushing Claire pinched his thigh hard. On Monday morning, Leo was enjoying a blissful moment, resting his head on Claire's lap, when a commotion erupted outside her office. Ms. Sterling, the chairman is making a surprise inspection. He's already in the main lobby. Claire shot upright, nearly headbutting Leo. Why would Dad come here all of a sudden? Wait, last week he mentioned something about introducing me to a potential marriage candidate. Leo sprang up. Marriage? Claire, shove his head down. Hide. Where? Claire pointed calmly under her massive mahogany desk. In there. Leo, this scene feels disturbingly similar to the beginning of certain videos I shouldn't be watching. He had just crammed himself under the desk when the office door opened. Claire, you can't even offer your own father a cup of tea? The chairman's stern voice boomed. Claire's expression was unruffled. Amy, get the chairman some tea. Leo held his breath, his eyes involuntarily drawn to Claire's legs. The sleek curves wrapped in black stockings were inches from his face. He could even smell her faint perfume. Stay calm. Stay calm. Now is not the time for a biological reaction. Her father sat down, blocking Leo's only escape route. Next week is the welcome home party for the Lynn son. You will attend. Claire's voice was cool. I'm not interested. The Lynn family is our social equal. The boy is back from his studies abroad, a fine young man. Under the desk, Leo couldn't help but grimace, his knee accidentally brushing against Claire's calf. Claire coughed lightly, her legs pressing together slightly. Wait a minute. Could she be? To test his theory, Leo deliberately traced a finger along her ankle. Claire flinched, and her pen clattered to the floor. Her father frowned. What's wrong? Nothing. Claire bent down to pick up the pen, using the opportunity to shoot Leo a murderous glare. The movement, however, brought Leo's face almost into contact with her thigh. Oh man, this angle is too much. Her father continued his lecture. You're 27, it's time you considered, Dad. Claire cut him off. I'm already seeing someone. Under the desk, Leo's heart skipped a beat. Her father was stunned. Who? Claire's face was a perfect mask. I'll bring them home when the time is right. Wait, did she just publicly acknowledge our relationship? Wait, Ms. Sterling, why are you unbuttoning your blazer? As her jacket slid from her shoulders, it landed directly on Leo's head, enveloping him in her signature scent, mixed with a faint, almost imperceptible trace of, is that sweat? Is Ms. Sterling nervous? Using the jacket as cover, Leo boldly pressed a kiss to her knee. Claire's hands shot out and gripped the edge of the desk, her knuckles turning white. Her father suddenly stood up. The party next week is mandatory. I know. Claire cut him off quickly. Don't you have another meeting to get to? The moment her father left, Leo started to crawl out, only to be stopped by Claire's leg blocking his path. Who gave you permission to move? Leo blinked innocently. I was conducting scientific exploration. Oh, a slow, wicked smile spread across Claire's face. Then explore this. She picked up her phone, and though she didn't dial, she spoke into it clearly. Mindy, come my office now for the quarterly review. Leo grabbed her ankle in terror. Claire, I was wrong. She's going to make me stand her here while Mindy is in the room. That's too humiliating. Claire's smile widened. Scared now? Leo took his chance, scrambling out from under the desk and, in one smooth motion, pushing her back in her large executive chair. No, he said, leaning over her. I've discovered something much more interesting. He nibbled on her earlobe. Your father is still on this floor. Do you dare make a sound?